Why would we do?
Because it's probably a lot more interesting than my fucking woes. Good afternoon, everyone. An hour and 15 minutes late, but that's because British Telecom, aka my internet service provider, are fucking useless. Sorry for the delay. MC, we're not going to do any intros because I thought we were already live and apparently we weren't. So I don't know what happened. Anyway, usual gang in. Carl, how you doing?
Good afternoon, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's like you've finally got your internet connection sorted. You used a proper hammer, not one of those child plastic rubber hammers. The one that squeaks.
I started off using a sand wedge and ended up using my driver and bent it in half. So, Scott, I am here. How are you?
I'm good, Nick. Shit, man, I thought maybe your DJing was so bad it broke your fucking computer or something.
Oh, shots fired.
Trust me.
Oh, man.
Trust me. Tonight, if I can get on the internet, obviously, I'll play some June banjos just for you, Hick boy. You'll be fine. You and your boys will be fine. I'll play some dueling banjos.
I'm done. He got his shots fired right back. He said, we talking shit, we gonna talk shit. I love it.
Welcome to the shit show extravaganza,
Gotta be
everybody.
Definitely. Dion, my brother, what's up?
Hey, man, I'm good. Headed on my way to LA. Not necessarily for the greatest of reasons, but I am headed to LA.
Cool. Well, you make sure you drive safely. John, what's up, buddy? How are you?
It's cracking, fam. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Got to say hello to Carly in the chat as ever. Yeah, as I said, sorry for the delay. I honestly thought you guys were live, but then I couldn't hardly understand what you were talking about because every 30 seconds my internet dropped and you just all sounded like a bunch of fucking Daleks. So well, mind you probably sounded better all talking like Daleks.
This guy.
Probably made more fucking sense. Carl, give us a rundown of obviously what we're going to be talking about. I know you wanted to talk about the Sam Darnold trade, I believe.
Yeah, obviously Sam Darnold has officially moved now from the New York Jets. He has gone to the Carolina Panthers for a. I'm just trying to look at the details here. I think it's something on the rounds of about a second round, and I think it's a second and a fourth. They managed to keep hold of their first round pick in the process. What I say about Sam
Darnold,
Darnold,
a sixth round pick too.
They gave up
a sixth round this year and the second and a fourth next year.
Which, to be honest, that is a pretty good trade, and with Carolina still managed to keep hold of their first. They might be able to help Sam Darnold on the offensive line. My question to the panel is this: who won this trade? Did the Jets win this trade, or did the Panthers win this trade? Scott, we'll go to you.
I thought that was a lot to give up for the Panthers. I know they didn't give up a first or anything, but Sam Darnold hasn't really shown a whole lot of ability to be a top line, upper tier NFL starter. With that, he's also been on the Jets and with Adam Gase and his weapons. I think his weapons. I think Perriman's a better receiver, than some people give credit for. I was really hoping the kid they got from Baylor was going to show up, but he kind of dealt with some injuries, so it kind of maybe an incomplete grade for Darnold. But yeah, I thought maybe they gave up just a little bit too much in draft picks for him. But maybe new situation, new environment, new scenery, getting away from Adam Gase. Maybe it turns out that it looks a little bit better than it looks to me to start off with.
Dion?
Well, you've got to say Adam Gase is the QB killer, so it can only be an upturn, I reckon.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the Jets won this trade. They know they have their quarterback of the future that they'll pick at number 2. They got themselves a nice little 6th-round pick. They could possibly turn that into a good special teams guy, or possibly like one of those sleeper type dudes that comes out of nowhere and plays very well. And then you got the 2nd and the 4th next year. For Sam Darnold, this gives him a fresh start, gives him a new perspective, a new lease on life, so to speak. And to me, it's like, hey, you didn't have to give up a bunch of first-rounders for him because he wasn't worth that much. And I feel like everybody gave him the excuse of Adam Gase, the culture and everything. But at the end of the day, you still got to perform. Because if I recall, we had a quarterback by the name of Alex Smith, and he went through offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator, and he was still expected to perform. So why not put the same thing on him? You're supposed to have an offensive wizard there. You should make it work. But I'd have to say the Jets won the trade just because of the haul that they picked up for him, and knowing that they don't have to worry about trying to pick up that 50-year option, paying that man double-digit money when he's only worth single-digit.
John?
Hey, they got a young man. They got a 23-year-old quarterback, man. The Panthers they just put. I think they just signed Boyer to their secondary. I mean, they made some pretty big moves over the offseason. So I think I don't give a shit about Darnold or the Jets. Couldn't give a damn about the Panthers either. So I mean, I guess for his sake, he's young enough to where he can salvage his career and make an upside out of it. That's all I got, man. Really. I mean, I guess it would have been happier if they didn't move him. So then maybe it would have been a little bit. I just don't want the Jets to take Fields at 2. So I kind of I don't know what they're gonna do. It kind of fucks me up.
Well, since the Jets have that haul now, they've got 7 selections in rounds 1 and 2 for the next 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and they'll mismanage all that shit. They'll screw it up.
Well, let's hope not, man. I'm not gonna wish bad for. It is, but I'm not gonna wish bad for Robert Saleh, man. I'm hoping for Saleh's sake they don't fuck this up because at the end of the day, he's there, and I appreciate him for what he did for us. I know I had my moment, where I didn't care for him. Who's got music going?
Not mine.
It's not mine.
It's not me, because apparently my DJing is shitty and it fucked up my internet. I'm music free, baby.
Hey, look, man. All I gotta say is, Nick, if you got the sheer will and power to go ahead and actually do it, and do it to the fullest, baby. Do it to the fullest. You was feeling your music, man. You ain't got no qualms with me. I'm good with it, brother. If you got at least the strength to be able to get up there and put that out, then you better than a lot of people, man. Because I tell you right now, you ain't gonna catch me out there trying to DJ or sing shit.
Yeah, I'm not that desperate to start singing. Fucking hell, I'd have to be desperate if I had to start singing. Luckily, I play some music, but as I said to Scott, I won't be playing any dueling banjos or any of that fucking country and western shit for him. So I'll try and keep it real. Back to football. Sam Darnold. I know there was a lot of rumours that the Niners were looking at him, and it was all because of the situation that he was in at the Jets with the QB killer Adam Gase. I would have liked to have seen him work under Saleh just to see if the potential that everybody seemed to think coming out of college was there. But then again, he was a turnover machine in college. So
yeah,
it's a weird one. It obviously, with the Niners moving up. Sorry, go on, Carl.
All I'm going to say, we're going back to Sam Darnold, is, the lack of support that he had over his four seasons that he had at the Jets. You know, there was a lack of a running game. The offensive line was trash, and really his only decent wide receiver that he had throughout that period of time was Robbie Anderson. And he ended up getting traded to the Panthers. So Sam Darnold gets to throw back to him. You look at where the Panthers are. They've got a half decent offensive line. You've got Christian McCaffrey, who is a stud of a running back. And then you look at the weapons. You know, they've got DJ. You've got Robbie Anderson. You've got DJ Moore. I'm pretty sure they are going to add a tight end in the draft somewhere down the line. Probably someone like Brandon Jarvin or Hunter Long. They're going to add one of those two. So I think Sam Darnold is going to be in a good position to be in. But if it does go horribly wrong and he does prove that he's a bust, then the Panthers haven't really lost a lot. Yeah, you've lost you haven't even lost your first round pick for him. So it's not the end of the world. The only drawback to any of this is that next year's draft class at quarterback is one of the poorest it's been in about a decade. So the Panthers could end up spinning the tires for another 2-3 years if the Darnold experiment goes wrong.
Yeah, no, Darnold definitely didn't have the best supporting cast there in New York, but at the same time, it wasn't like he was flashing and looked like, you know, a diamond in the rough. Like he was making plays and he was doing all this, and guys around him just wanted to help him. I mean, he just didn't look that good either. So it'll be interesting to see. He won't have any excuses now, because the Panthers, people talk that they like Carl just said, they got legit offensive weapons, and their coach Matt Rule, I think, is a good coach. He was really great at Baylor. He was there, I think, a year or two and turned them around from the doldrums back up to one of the top teams in college in the Big 12, and then when he went to Carolina, they showed flashes, but yeah, Teddy Bridgewater isn't the answer. So yeah, he's in a much better position now. He's going to have to take advantage.
Definitely, and the thing, of course, with that is it's a new start for him, and as Carl said, if he does stink the place up, then there's no excuses. It could be the new start he needs. As I said, I know the Niners were looking at him, but again, with the Niners moving up to 3 and making Carl throw a football and swear everywhere, which is, if you haven't seen it, go and watch 2 Feet Inbound's YouTube channel for his San Francisco trade up to 3 video, because that is still, that must have the most views of all of your videos, Carl, because that honestly, that was class.
My link's there, so go watch it. There's my link on Twitter. Go find it, then go scroll down, find the video. Okay. with obviously the Jets shipping Darnold now, that definitely shows their intent on a QB. We know the Jags are going to take a QB at 1. It's interesting. We'll come to that in a second, Izzy, Carl. It's interesting as to where now. I mean, everyone still has the consensus that Trevor Lawrence is by far and away the best QB this year. He's going to go 1, and then it's a toss-up between 2 and 3. And we all know the names have been banding around for the Niners to take. No, I don't think. I'll say that I don't think it is a toss-up between 2 and 3. We know Trevor Lawrence is going to go to Jacksonville, and we have a pretty good inkling that Zach Wilson is going to go to the Jets. I think the only shock and horror that could come out of any of this. Do not mention that man's name. Justin Fields is the only name that is allowed. Listen, I listen to a podcast in the mornings, right, from a guy called Charlie who does the UK NFL Breakfast Show. He is 99%. Listen, he's 99% certain that Mac Jones is going to the 49ers. So I'm going to say this on record. I will, if this does happen, if Mac Jones goes to the 49ers, I will super glue my tongue to my Metallica tankard. All right? Book it.
Fuck.
Now that I've got.
That's how confident I am. That's how confident I am. Mac Jones is not going to the 49ers.
That is the only solace all of us in here can take that are 49ers fans. If they draft them, you are super gluing your tongue to your fucking tankard, and you're going to video it.
I hope John
and you're going
to this video.
Oh,
yeah. He'll be on the phone now saying, Carl, I'll give you $20 million gazillion. Let me pick because I want to see that fucking UK bozo super glue his tongue to a Metallica cup.
You know what's crazy about that is Adam Schefter came out and said that he's certain that it's going to be Jones to the 49ers. And, like, that dude doesn't guess about shit.
Well, no, here's the thing. The issue with that is all these people, they speculate on who's going to pick who. The only thing you can actually ever truly predict typically is the number 1 overall pick. And that's only based on, somebody having a ridiculous need. But I can tell you right now, man, to me, I don't like it. And I don't like all the hype that he's coming, strictly based on the fact that why is he coming and why is Justin Fields' stock just randomly dropping? To me, it's a lot of BS, and I'm gonna expose a whole lot of shit probably Sunday night. I'm gonna do a show, and I'm gonna put a title, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but I truly don't care because I'm not actually in the actual media, so I have no censor. But to me, I think it's really BS that randomly Justin Fields' stock drops and fucking Michael McCorkle's goddamn stock rises. His middle name is fucking McCorkle. Who the fuck wants that on their goddamn team? The hell? Oh, hey, McCorkle, come over here. McCorkle. No, fuck that. He'd get ripped to shreds in the military. They'd kill him. They'd probably call him
because the British will just refer to him as McCockle. So
exactly.
I'd still like to find someone that's got a River fucking Craycraft jersey from the Niners. I mean, that must be a fucking vintage fucking shirt if anyone's got one of them.
What are you talking about? We re-signed his dumb ass.
I know. Terrible, isn't it?
I mean, he can catch the ball.
Dion.
Dude's got hands. Craycraft actually can catch the ball. He just can't run a fucking route to save his life.
Or have a decent first name, but that's another story. Carl, get to this question that Izzy has put in there for you.
Yes, questions in myself. Who you hate to face twice a year in New York as a QB? If we do believe it is going to be Zach Wilson to the Jets, you look at the AFC East now. I mean, Josh Allen at Buffalo. Let's just say hypothetically Zach Wilson does go to the Jets, and you got Tua Tagovailoa at Miami. You look at down that board, and you're probably looking at Cam Newton as the fourth best quarterback in the AFC East. So regardless, we are on the back foot now. I do fear Zach Wilson. If the Jets take Mac Jones, A, everyone's going to be pissing themselves laughing, and B, it's going to be the biggest shock for probably the last 1 or 2 decades. The last time I was shocked and horrified was when Daniel Jones got taken at 6 in 2018 to the Giants. But I digress from that. But yeah, I think Zach Wilson will be a problem to deal with, a major problem to do. If he is coached, if Robert Saleh gets a tune out of him, if he does, the Jets are going to go places. That's the only problem. It's that organization. They can never seem to get out of the rut. So yeah, I've got to say Zach Wilson. I'm fearing most of it.
I'll say this. To be honest with you, the person that you need to be scared of is Josh Allen. I wouldn't be afraid of no goddamn rookie. I know what the rookie can do. I know what he's seen, but he gonna make rookie mistakes. I'm more worried about Buffalo. In your division, they are the biggest, basically the biggest threat to you guys, because they're the ones that gonna take over that division, man. You still got possible injury concerns with Tua, and if Zach goes over there to the Jets, he's new, he's dynamic, but he gonna make rookie mistakes. You can bet on that. But I guarantee you, man, you need to be worried about Josh Allen and that Bills Mafia. They're the ones who are going to give you the hardest run for your money. Zach Wilson ain't going to cause too many problems.
I agree.
I agree. I agree regarding of Josh Allen. Josh Allen is probably our main target. It's going to be our main rival. Buffalo, they're division champions. They've now got the target on their back. Tua's coming into his second year though, and he's only one of very few rookies who's actually beaten Belichick on his first outing. So
can I just interject? We got a comment here that I've just got to say something about. Carly, if you remember Studio 54, you're older than me, and I thought I was old. You're honestly, I don't get where all you know.
She saw videos of it on YouTube back in the days. Studio 54. Dion, you said that you saw Justin Fields' stock drop. Man, like a lot of stuff I see online, Justin Fields' stock is going up, and a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is
it's weird, man. The media is portraying a lot of odd shit,
and so I personally, I think Fields is going to go 2 to the Jets. I think they're going to take Justin Fields at 2. I do.
Something tells me I agree.
And a lot of and you see like the metrics as far as his throwing on the run and his ability to run and scramble and his elusiveness and the total package of, the complete toolbox is there compared to Wilson, who people say is the better thrower of the ball. But I see Fields has been rising ever since that national championship game against Clemson, especially in this playoff run here recently. All the stuff I'm seeing is Fields is going up and Wilson is kind of coming down a little bit. I don't know. Then again,
one question
that I don't like
here.
Go on, Dion.
Go ahead, guys. Oh, I was gonna say that the person I don't care for right now is Dan Orlovsky. I don't like Orlovsky at all. He was one of the shittiest fucking quarterbacks to ever touch the grass or turf of an NFL field, and he talks like he knows everything. Come on, man, you was trash when you was in the league. You know you were. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Orlovsky cause a safety on himself by stepping out the back of his own end zone? Like, nah, man. Nah. Trash quarterback on TV trying to talk crap about other quarterbacks. Like, come on, bro. You couldn't lace up cleats with half these dudes you're speaking about. Nobody was yelling Dan Orlovsky's coming out of college. Like, I don't understand that.
It's funny how a lot of these people become very good media personalities and, ex-QBs, ex-players, all of a sudden are fucking gurus. And as you say, he was awful. So, okay, he made it to the NFL and all that and fair play and he got paid and everything. But but he was a shitty player. So what all of a sudden now makes him this like guy that can really judge talent, etc., when he was absolute garbage as a player? Doesn't make sense to me. You listen to some of the ex-players that are analysts, like what's his name on NFL Network? Willie McGinnis, people like that. When they speak, they know, and because they've been there, they've done it. They know their shit. So if they say something, they don't say it for clickbait and things like that. And I kind of get the feeling like with Chris Sims that he's the same, that he does it for controversy's sake. And that bloke that's with him on his show, he's a complete fucking idiot. Well, I can't think of his name. But I don't get what makes these NFL players all of a sudden become such gurus when it comes to evaluating talent. I'd rather listen to, people that know what they're talking about, really. It's a strange one. I mean, who's your sort of go-to people to listen to? Scott?
Dan Orlovsky, he when you listen to him and you watch him break down film, he knows what he's talking about. He's been in NFL, he's been in quarterback rooms. He's been in film studies. I don't think you got to be the best player to be the best analyst. I'm not trying to say that he is the best analyst, but a lot more of what I'm seeing with the Justin Fields stuff is people that are just kind of analytics people that break down and look at metrics, and a lot of the stuff that they put out there, you see Justin Fields is ranked higher than Zach Wilson just damn near about every category. And he played tougher competition. That's the other theme that I'm noticing a lot of people are bringing up and saying is that Justin Fields played against a lot tougher competition.
Yeah, he
than
played
Zach Wilson did.
in the Big Ten. Yeah, so he actually had people to get him. You're right.
So the Justin Fields stuff, he's on his way up, and the Zach Wilson thing is kind of cooling down a little bit. And yeah, I won't be surprised. I think the Jets, like I said a minute ago, are going to take Fields. I don't know if that's the right pick. I'm not trying to say. I think if I was picking a player, I would probably weigh arm talent and the ability to make all the throws a lot higher than some of these other things, these other, escapability or maneuverability or whatever you want to call it, athleticism, top, a lot is being made. Justin Fields ran a 4.440, which is crazy fast for a quarterback. But again, the quarterback's job is to throw the ball, not run the ball. So I think I would probably lean at Wilson as being, a better passer. And I think if I was on the clock, I think I would pick Wilson. But I think the margin's a lot closer than people think. And I think Fields has been doing nothing but rising the last 6 months. How long ago was that college football playoff? That's been 3, 4, 5 months ago. It seems like ever since the end of the Ohio State's regular season and then that college football playoff run, everything I've been seeing on Fields is he's rising. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a fascinating first 3 picks in the draft, no doubt.
And that's the only 3 I'm interested in. And if the Niners pick who everyone is saying they are going to pick, then I'm going to lose my shit. If Fields goes to the Jets, I'm going to be disappointed because I like Fields and I'd like Fields to come to the Niners. But if they don't, if Zach Wilson is at 3 and they don't pick him and they pick Mac Jones, I'm going to have a fucking meltdown. I will make Carl's meltdown video look like a kindergarten project.
I'll be right there with you because I'm going to be live for those first 3 picks. And I'm going to tell you right now, I swear to God, if they call Michael fucking McCorkle Jones, I am going to just, at that point, I'm going to have to buy a bunch of brand new shit. I just bought a new 55-inch, and it's fucking beautiful. It's beautiful. You can see every single detail of people's faces. I went on ahead. If I see Mac Jones come across that goddamn screen as our pick, I really would. But I'm not going to feed into the hype. I say if Justin Fields go 2, Zach Wilson is already, they're calling. They basically go, hey, that's it. Zach, come on.
Yeah,
because they're going to look at it and go,
Zach Wilson's phone, if Fields goes at 2, I guarantee you Zach Wilson's phone, within 10 seconds of that pick coming in, you're going to have Lynch and Shanahan on the phone. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
And it will be interesting with all these talking heads as well that you see that it's nailed on that Mac Jones is going to the Niners and all that lot. The retreat that's going to happen if he doesn't. And the bullshit excuses. They had another chat with him and then they weren't really. And my sources were saying, and this, the fuck out of here. There's no way they trade up to 3. They're not going for Mac Jones. There's no way. They deserve. Both of them deserve to be fired.
I'll say this now: my bowels have got more flow than their sources.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just
I put my sauces on my French fries last night. Heinz tomato ketchup. That's the only sauces I've got.
But how often does Adam Schefter come out and say something that ain't right, man? That's just when I saw that, like I almost dropped my phone.
But Shefty isn't always right when it comes to the draft,
no,
man.
He's not always right, but man, that dude, he seemed like he was certain. Like I do. So yeah, I'll be stunned. I'm
They-
stunned. I'm not
I
saying
think-
it's right, but it gave me pause. You know, I just kind of looked at it and went, "Damn!" Like,
I just feel like all they're doing is just hyping him up, because just to be honest with you, man, when you looked at everything before anybody said anything about Mac Jones, at the end of the day, what did everybody say? He was like the third or fourth best quarterback. So explain to me how you go from the fourth best quarterback to now somebody traded up to number 3 to go get you. He would have been there at 12.
Mm.
We might have had to move up to like
Definitely.
maybe 8, but that's just the amount of draft capital you give up to go get your franchise quarterback, so to speak. That just it doesn't make sense. He's not worth it. I don't see anything. How you miss pro days are set up for you to win. You're supposed to be able to look fantastic at a fucking pro day. There should be no reason you look bad. Why? Because it's set up for you to win. So how the fuck you overthrowing receivers, standing there with your goddamn dad bod and shit? Like, come on, man.
I think that was
Like,
his
that don't make
second
no
pro
sense.
day, though. I
Yeah,
think
but
he
either way,
did bad on his
either-
second day.
But he did get bad on his first one too. He missed some throws on the first pro day. But the thing is like pro days, you're supposed to be spot on. And you can't just dick around because you're Mac Jones and you went to Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You get to dick around because you're so-and-so and you went to USC, or you're so-and-so and you went to LSU or any of these other big colleges. Those dudes weren't taking chances and taking time off. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you Justin Fields ain't about to take no days off when he has his second pro day. So he's not going to just joke around and be like, oh, I can miss a few throws because I already did great in my first one. No, I'm going to bust my ass and make sure I look even better. Like, that's the thing. You got to be
I think
smart
pro
about
days are
that. Like,
shit. I don't even like fucking pro days, to be honest with you.
I don't like them,
I
but I
think
mean,
it's-
they set up for you to win. You shouldn't fail.
I mean, they let you see the guy's mechanics to an extent, but I mean, they really don't give you the picture. I mean, Sam Bradford was the number 1 pick in 2010, man. And it's like,
Don't talk to me about Sam Bradford. Don't talk to me about the man who robbed the NFL.
We always
He
go
robbed
back
the
to
NFL.
Bradford,
He robbed them blind.
but I mean, it's the draft is a crapshoot, and you move up to 3 to fucking fool who? Who are you fooling? You want a quarterback. The world knows it. I mean, you're not trying to trick anybody, and those motherfuckers in New York now, I loved them, great, but you're not my fucking teammates, you're not my coaches anymore. Now you're my opponent at some point or another. So love you, Saleh. Thank you for everything you did, but now you know the insights of how Kyle thinks, and whether you were ever in the draft room and you ever had anything to do with it, I don't know. But look, I'm not good with them over there, and they're a pick above. So it's like, who the fuck are you fooling? You're going to take the second or the third quarterback. I mean, it's just one or the other. Or you're going to take McCorkle because either he's smarter and understands I mean, look, this franchise cannot afford, and don't make mistakes. I'm not going to defend McCorkle, but somebody has to look at it from the other side of the table now. So you can't afford to take a quarterback that can't fucking read the defense. You just fucking can't. So if they believe
John gets it.
If you believe that he can read the defense, and you are adamant that you could win with Jimmy, then you might be able to win with McCorkle, whether you like it or you don't. I don't like it, but who gives a fuck what I like come the fucking third pick? So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're not listening to us. They don't give a fuck what we want. They're going to look at it from the metrics, and they're going to say to themselves, I mean, if Zach Wilson, Jabba, if Zach Wilson can't win as a Niner in the West, if he's too small or I don't know what the fuck they could say about the guy that could convince you that he can't do it. All I know is
everyone was saying the same thing about Kyler Murray, and he's short. Yeah. And he's short of a Justin Fields.
Except that's Kyler Murray. Like, he's already proven himself though. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're getting from these guys. We don't know shit. We don't know how Trevor Lawrence is going to play. We don't know how Justin Fields is going to play. We don't know how Trey Lance is going to play. We don't know how if Mac Jones throws 30 fucking touchdowns and he goes fucking 15th overall, okay, we're going to be like, you know, what are we going to say? What are we going to say on this channel then? I'm just going to do this shit, you know? Because I don't know what else I don't know what else I could say. You know,
thing is, John,
these guys,
the thing you got.
Kyler Murray has proven himself to be small, agile. He's a fucking squirrel. He runs around like fucking Darkwing Duck. Good for him. You know, good for you, bro. We don't know what we're getting. We really don't know what we're getting. So if you're gonna take McCorkle Jones at 3 or Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, it's still a gamble. We all know this. Frankly.
And it comes down to, like you're saying, John, you don't know what you're getting. You move up in the draft. Do you want to pick someone that has a higher ceiling, or do you want to pick somebody that has a lower floor? Like less chance of failure of being a total bust, or somebody that maybe could be that, but also has the upside that the other guy doesn't have for like superstar level.
I mean, you got to find the balance in both. I really don't know. Like, you know, we always make examples out of players that have already proven themselves in the league to either be successful like Herbert or to be a bust like Trubisky. We always compare players, but we don't have a fucking clue how these guys are going to play until they fucking play.
Right.
And I don't want to fucking close my eyes and regret all these months of all these mock drafts and all this shit we've been talking. I know Khalid's right, bro. I have a meltdown every time it comes to this shit because I still have concerns and I'm reserved on getting excited about rookie quarterbacks. I just am. I'm nervous because of it. You know, we don't have a good fucking veteran. Jimmy's pissed. He's ready to fucking bounce. He wants to fucking leave. I've been saying that shit on this channel for fucking months. We don't have a veteran.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to leave? Who wouldn't want to leave when they do that to you, man? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
I agree with you, Dion. I agree with you, but you're still going to get the kickback that it's a business and you don't give a fuck and they don't give a fuck and this and that. Somebody gives a fuck. I mean, let's just be honest. You know,
and it's usually the victim.
Yeah, you do. At the end of the day, you do.
You want to be respected. You want to be respected in your workplace, regardless of who the fuck you are. I don't care if you're working at a car wash or you're a fucking professional football player. You want to be respected by the people that fucking picked you. However, they've dangled him out there like a pile of shit, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. It's true. You mistreated this dude. He's got family. They know. They hear it. They're in his ear. Get the fuck out of there, Jim. These guys don't deserve it. You know, they don't care. And you only are successful because of Shanahan. You're not successful because of your talents and your skill set. So just, Jim, get the fuck out of it. Just leave. Leave them with the winning record and let them move on to their rookie. And that's what I say. Jimmy deserves better.
The only thing is,
this fan base doesn't give a fuck.
Looks like Dion's dropped off. No, he's back in again. No, the only problem is, though, with that, John, is that the 49ers, they're just not going to drop Jimmy Garoppolo off at the nearest bus stop with a ham sandwich and just say, there you go, on your way. They want a first-round pick for him.
They're not going to get a first-round pick. They fucked that up all by themselves. They talked him into the fucking ground. You shot yourself in the fucking foot. It's your own fucking problem.
Right. Yeah.
They're not getting a first. They're not getting a first.
Kyle
okay.
Shanahan
No,
didn't do the
no
team
chance.
favors there.
That, to me,
he's
been
disrespected. He kind of let his
disrespected.
ego get in there, and I think there's some people in there that were wanting to take the credit. And like John said, that they kind of almost ran. You know, they hurt the trade stock of Garoppolo themselves, which is not smart to do, not good to do, but
they chased him out. So they hurt any potential of you having any kind of veteran presence behind having a rookie behind a veteran. You put more pressure on yourself because you chased the guy out of town. He doesn't want to fucking be in San Francisco anymore. We just don't know that yet publicly, but there's whispers.
He gave up on the team at the end of the season. Evidently, he's canceled workouts with the team coming up here in May and June. So, you know, you guys, you chased him the fuck out, and you put more pressure on yourselves with the rookie. So, and you keep and you got what, 5 quarterbacks with the rookie of your choice, and they all are fucking garbage. So, what the fuck
nobody
are you
gives
doing?
a fuck about Nate Sudfeld. His work
Garbage. They surrounded their quarterback room is full of fucking garbage. So
all they've done is cleared out the shit from last year and replaced it with new shit, basically. So you've got Mullins gone, you got Bethard gone.
Interesting question. Interesting comment from JC. Sorry to butt in, Nick. JC's put, should have done a Jimmy Darnold swap. Will that have been more enticing?
Because you're still gonna have dog shit behind whoever they draft. If this is how they go, and they are gonna go with the rookie, right? So Jimmy's gone, and you've got a rookie, you got Sudfeld, and you've got Josh. Who's the other?
Josh Johnson.
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen and Josh Johnson.
Yeah, we got
so
Rosen and Josh Johnson.
Right.
God, that is trash.
Yeah, but Nick, aren't you a little bit?
Haven't
you ever been curious how Kyle could do with different quarterbacks around the league? Haven't you ever just been curious? Like, I'm not ashamed to say that I wouldn't have been opposed to see what Kyle could do with a Darnold. I wouldn't be opposed to see what he could have done with a Trubisky. I mean, these kids had talent just like these other fuckers coming up. I mean, we can't discredit. I mean, we can sit here and say that they're dog shit, but they're dog shit under dog shit fucking organizations. So I'm not opposed to seeing what you can do with these people. Khalil's right. Jimmy did bring some of this on himself, but then we can say that injuries like Kittle, Debo, the defense, these guys have been riddled with injuries too, but they don't fucking take the blunt end of the stick. It's Jimmy's been the fucking pinata the whole fucking time. You beat him to the fucking ground, and now you put your fucking hands out saying, give me a first. Fuck you. You're not going to get a first.
If
you've already convinced us he's trash,
if the Jets can get a second, a fourth, and a sixth for Darnold, the 49ers could get that for Jimmy, right? I mean,
we have to be able to get that. We should be able to get a good haul.
You would take that, right?
Yeah, Jimmy's probably going to say, fuck you. You know, I got a no trade clause, so you fucking you trashed my name through the dirt, okay? So,
but if he wants out,
if he wants out, he still gets to choose where he wants to go. Right. You know,
the other thing as well with this whole Jimmy thing. Let's say he goes to another team, he gets traded, and whoever we draft and whoever's the second and third QB, we have the same situation as we did last season where it was a fucking train wreck, right? And Jimmy G is in New England or wherever he is, and he's fucking lighting it up. Then everyone's going to be on Kyle and John's back for letting the dude go.
Well, rightfully
you
so.
See what I'm saying? It's.
I mean, it is what it is. That's what you get. That's your choice.
Right now, both the 49ers and the Patriots are in organizations are set up right now to go for it all now. They're set up now. So it's just a case of, you know, if Jimmy G is eventually traded either to us or to somewhere, then we need to see, because you know what Jimmy Garoppolo is capable of when he is fit, when he is healthy. He doesn't lose. When the 49ers have Jimmy G under center, you win games. When you don't, you lose games.
I mean, we see that. Everyone fucking sees it, but everybody gives credit to Kyle Shanahan for scheming up the success of Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, then what the fuck have you been doing with everyone else? You couldn't do it with Nick Mullins. Beathard was a fucking bust, you know? I mean, if Kyle is the reason for all this success, then, I mean, they don't seem to be convinced. Jimmy is, yes, Khalil's right, dude. So he played 16 fucking games. And that season, we went to the Super Bowl. However, I'm still not convinced that we had a lot of fucking shitty offensive line. So, you know, Quinion Williams came through on that fucking line. He took Jimmy the fuck out. He gave him he took out that ankle. That ankle was severely fucking sprained. Okay? It just is. That's a 300 fucking pound dude. Okay? And when he took that ankle, he didn't just gracefully fall on it. He tucked it and he twisted it. And make no mistake, I've seen it over and over and over again. Doesn't make a difference to me. That was a vicious fucking move. It is what it is. All right. Jimmy's ankle took the blunt end of it, and so did his fucking fuck am I looking for, man? His reputation took a hit.
Yeah.
Are you sorry, John?
Chiefs
John.
traded 2 second-round picks for Alex Smith 4 or 5 years ago. That's what the 49ers should be trying to do with Jimmy G right now. Something like that. A second and a third, 2 seconds, and just move them on.
The thing with Jimmy, though,
there's got to be a team out
I know
that up for a quarterback that took a team to the Super Bowl. And it is, you know, I mean, he's a legit starting quarterback in the NFL. There's teams out there that need that right now. Yeah, and
Jimmy G is a winner.
If we let him go and he lights it up, well, yeah, you're going to look like shit, but you can't be worried about it. You can't be making decisions on that.
Right. Yeah, you can't worry about what you did.
I appreciate that, but it would just seem like a step back again if everyone's healthy next season for the Niners and they don't have 3,565,825 injuries. Everybody stays fit, but the quarterback is a rookie and he doesn't improve the team. And you've let someone go that, as Carl said, and I know best availability is availability and all that, but to me, I still don't know whether they're going to. I know everyone in the Niners Empire chat on Twitter is saying that Jimmy G's gone come draft night and things like that. But I'm just worried. And I said it in the chat and got flamed for it. I'm just worried that if they start a rookie and he doesn't do anything or he gets injured, and I know injuries happen, etc., and everyone says, oh, Carl Shanahan's offense is the hardest to learn, and Jimmy G in his third full season still doesn't know the full playbook. You throw someone in that, again, they're going to have a very limited playbook because obviously he can't just say, there's the playbook, there's 3,000 plays, learn the verbiage, learn the terminology, learn all this, learn all that. Because he's going to fail. I don't care who it is. He's going to fail.
I mean, we don't want them to fail, Nick.
No,
we don't want them to fail. I mean,
of course not.
We can't.
Of course
I don't want them to fail because right now I'm a nervous wreck too, man. But don't feel bad for what you say in the chat because your concerns are legit. It's a legit concern, man. Nobody knows what's going to happen. They're just very overconfident, and that's fine. I'm not a very. I'm more of a show me. Look, you get what you fucking get. You know what you get when you see what you got. That's the way I look at everything. I can't be. I'm optimistic to an extent, but you know. I mean, Khalil, you're not wrong, dude, and he might be, but if he's taking it second, then are you just as confident as the next choice, which is going to be Zach Wilson or whoever the hell he chooses?
Yeah,
I'm with Khalil on this thing. Like, I believe that Fields is the guy at 3, but if he's taken at 2, are we just as confident in Zach Wilson? That's my concern.
I think Zach Wilson will rip up the NFC West. The only drawback is any quarterback that comes into the 49ers, they have to go up against Aaron Donald twice, Leonard Floyd twice, Carlos Dunlop twice, JJ Watt twice, and Chandler Jones twice.
Carl,
That's
we've already said on this.
Drawback.
I mean, I see he can do it.
We've already said on this show that the Niners versus the Rams and Aaron Donald does shit. So I'm not concerned about Aaron Donald. JJ Watt, over the hill, forget about it. The other guys that you mentioned, yes, I'm worried about. But again, if you're taking Fields, he's got that escapability, right?
Yes.
Whether or not that's the way Kyle wants his QB to play, who knows? But he will pull the ball down and he will run if he has to. But then that opens him up to taking shots and things like that. And you've seen
it's a physical game.
Cam Newton back in the day,
you have to take shots.
So is that the kind of offensive game plan that Kyle would run? I don't know, because
I don't either.
Kirk Cousins isn't a mobile, and he loves Kirk Cousins. And whether we like him or not is immaterial, right? That is his pro, and I feel sorry for Kyle Shanahan when he gets put in front of the cameras like he did in that media day a couple of weeks ago, because all that gets brought up is bloody Kirk Cousins this, Kirk Cousins that, like he's some god. And that's how, and they shouldn't be asking those.
That's Kyle's
Yeah. Like, Leon, I agree. But does that then, like everyone has said, after he said all that points to Mac Jones going at 3. And I'm not convinced that he's going at 3. And a lot of people said now it's all smoke and mirrors, and I don't know. I mean, it's annoying because everyone sat here, irrespective of where you're picking in the draft, you want to know who your team is picking with that first pick that you get. And I don't know.
The Justin Fields thing to me is, I think the Ravens, they run Lamar Jackson too much, and I can't believe he hasn't gotten more seriously injured by now than he has. Okay. But it's also good to have. So you don't bring Justin Fields in saying, okay, we're going to run him all the time. But being able to maneuver and escape and get out of the pocket and extend plays. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he does a lot of that. They don't design runs for him, but when the shit breaks down, he can get out and run and get you a first down. Look at that touchdown run he had in the AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans 2 years ago. So yeah.
No, that was just pathetic tackling, but I'll give carry on.
Well, either way, however you want to look at it, he's a big dude.
You see, I just can't see Kyle playing not playing a QB that way, but doing a game plan that's going to take advantage of his running ability as opposed to his passing. And I think that Justin Fields has got both.
You don't game plan like that, but you have the ability when the game plan or the play breaks down or the play doesn't go the way you drew it up. Now you can extend the play. Now you can still get something out of a broken play where you had nothing before. I think people are excited.
I think that's the dynamic that we don't have on the offense. Right. But in arguing, you can argue that saying that Kyle doesn't want his quarterbacks mobile. He wants them to make that play. If his scheme is that someone is always open, then he expects you to deliver that ball to that individual from the fucking pocket. And if your quarterback's not competent enough to make those progressions to find that open man, which drives me nuts, because if that's the way the scheme is, then that's a design play, then that that one read is that guy. So you should be looking for that guy.
That good.
But I mean, if it's a design play, then that progression is that's your first read. Mm-hmm. You could try to sell it and look, Jimmy does stare down his receivers. So, that hurts the team, but rookies do that shit too. I don't know, man. I mean, look, Melissa's right. At the end of the day, it's a toxic situation between the media, the coaching, the front office, the fan base. This whole Jimmy shit, when it's done and over with, I'm going to be good. I don't give a damn after that. I'll be curious to check in on him and see film on him and see how he's doing, because I would like to see if he is mobile and making shit happen the way he did in 2017. If he moves like that, then we know that it was Kyle that tied him to the pocket and said, "Don't fucking move. Don't run." Because aren't you guys curious to see where he ends up and how he plays? If he's leading a team to victories outside of the 49ers organization, then something was fucking wrong. And then I have a reserved concern for whoever's taking his place.
Yeah, it would then, as I said, you know, with him going, if he does go and he goes and lights the place up and he's a different player, then as you say, then the heat is going to be on Kyle for trying to make him something he wasn't. Kind of like, and I don't like bringing this guy's name up, Kaepernick. They wanted him to, but back in the day when Kyle first turned up, they wanted him to be, I thought you had a number 2 jersey on, John.
No,
I didn't realise it was a 7. They wanted, rumours were, forget all the other business that went on, they wanted him to be more of a pocket passer. Not that he was a great passer, but that's what they wanted him to be. And he was more of a run first QB. And then
that was born then.
You know, he couldn't do this.
Introduce that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what they wanted him to be. Now, what's to say that Kyle wants Jimmy, whoever, to be a certain style that goes against the grain of what they actually are? So again, you've then got another issue.
Terrible. If you do that, then you made a terrible pick, and that's terrible coaching.
In what regard? Are you saying
if you pick somebody that their strengths are not what you want in your quarterback or what you want in your offense, if you pick a guy whose strengths are getting out and running and being able to move and be mobile and extend, and you bring a guy in and try and force him to be a pocket passer when he's not, you made the wrong pick. And that's
what Chicago did with Trubisky. That they forced him to stand there and be someone that he was not.
Right. Coaching isn't about teaching somebody to do something that they can't. It's about doing things and adapting to what they can do and what they're good at. That's
correct.
It's funny.
Which is why we want Fields.
To me,
we want Fields.
That's what they're thinking. If they're wanting to bring Justin Fields in, but we're gonna, or Jimmy G, like you guys were just talking about, we're gonna make him a pocket passer and come hell or high water. Well, then you got major problems because that's not what good coaches do.
That's my fear. That's what I worry about. I mean, if we get Fields, and I don't see the dynamic quarterback that I watched on Saturdays, I don't see him moving and getting out and running with that 4.4 speed. Then there's something's fucking wrong, because that's what we want as fans. We want to see you run. We want to see you tearing up secondaries the way we saw Kaepernick doing that. I know that was a different time, and the league is prepared for mobile quarterbacks now, but we have not been able to contain mobile quarterbacks as a defense number 2 or number 5 or wherever the hell we're at. We have not been able to contain a mobile quarterback. So I want to see us giving defenses fits the same way we do it. I want to see a Niners quarterback giving defenses some shit to fear. I want a 4.3, 4.4 speed tearing up the defense if the play's not there. I want to see that.
And you hear people say, like, oh, this coach is a quarterback guru or he's a quarterback whisperer, and they develop quarterbacks. And Andy Reid's a perfect example. Oh, look at all the quarterbacks he's developed. I don't know it's so much that he developed the quarterbacks. He got the quarterbacks, saw what they could do, and molded his team and got them the players and the support and the cast to be successful.
See, I was going to ask you about
teaching these guys all of a sudden. Oh, well, I'm going to teach this guy to be able to.
But you also have had offensive coordinators too, Scott.
Mobile, man, like you can't, like that's just you don't do that.
But you guys have had offensive coordinators getting paid to provide intuitive information to help expand that air raid offense.
Sure.
That's what you're known for, is airing out the ball. We are not known for that, and I don't even know if we would fucking do it, even if we had the guy to do it.
But they didn't air it out when they had Alex Smith.
True.
We were still successful and still winning 10, 11, 12 games every year. Now, granted, they didn't get to the Super Bowl. Mahomes got us over that hump. because he's a far better quarterback than Alex Smith. No, that's not earth-shattering news. I'm not telling anybody.
And of course, the Niners blew it, and you were holding all the time. But that's another story. We're not going to get into that. Scott, very quick, but quick. You know, I'm always going to bring that up, Scott.
I know it's all good.
You're prepared for that, exactly. My thing with Kansas and with Mahomes and Andy Reid, we've all seen what Mahomes has done, right? And he fell in the draft. And I can't believe that all those other Niners included, because we passed on Mahomes. What do you think Andy Reid saw when everyone else is like, who the fuck's Mahomes? We're not fucking interested. We're going to take fucking a kicker or a fucking whatever.
Can I go first?
Of course. One sec. But what is it, because he's a quarterback guru and he knows his stuff and blah, blah, blah? Or is it that all these other doofuses crapped out before they got him? Carl, you go first.
I think it's all to do with Chicago trading up and take from 3 to 2 to go and get Trubisky. I think that can be the only legit reason.
But Trubisky is nowhere near. Sorry, I was just getting another beer. Sorry. Trubisky was nowhere near what Mahomes has become. Now, I didn't see Mahomes in college. I didn't see Trubisky in college. So, you know, how can you trade up, pick that pile of shit, and let someone like Mahomes go further and further? Because everyone is different from when Alex Smith was drafted by the Niners, because and Aaron Rodgers fell, because after they picked Alex Smith, nobody needed a quarterback. And that's why he fell further and further and further and further and further and further back until he was picked. Whereas people must see the skill set of these players, because they're not just a couple of games in. Everyone can see this year Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, etc., etc. And everyone, the top three need a QB this time, so we know roughly what's going. But what made Andy Reid think, I can take this Mahomes kid and show everybody, you crapped out and you missed out on this kid? That's the thing I never understand sometimes with this drafting thing.
It wasn't like they missed out on Mahomes either. They missed out on Deshaun Watson as well. That's the laughing at.
That's another.
Not one. You had 2 bites of the cherry and you completely fucked it.
The thing with Mahomes, there was a few things that hurt Patrick Mahomes in the draft. First was this idea that, Texas Tech gets these quarterbacks with these huge stats, but they never translate to the NFL. So there was a lot of that shit going on. There was people that looked at his record and thought, well, yeah, but he never won when he was in college. But that was because he had some of the worst defenses. I mean, there was a couple of years where Texas Tech defense was the last rated defense, not second to last, not third, the last rated defense in college football. Andy Reid, and he's talked about him, and he said, they visited with Deshaun Watson, and they went, all these teams visit with all these top guys, right? And they evaluate them. And I think what Andy Reid saw in Mahomes was, on the film, you could see that Mahomes had freakish arm talent, which everybody knew. I mean, you watch the throws that dude made in college. It was fucking unbelievable. But he said when he sat him down and showed him, he went through a few plays like in a playbook with him. And he said, Mahomes kind of glanced through the book, and he goes, okay, now go break down this play on. And it was like, Mahomes memorized the 10 or 12 plays that he gave him and went up and drew them out on the board perfectly and gave every assignment. Andy Reid was like, holy shit, this dude's fuck. He's got photographic memory. And I think that's really what Andy Reid saw, maybe that some other teams maybe didn't pick up on. Like, holy shit, this dude can pick things up like in no time at all. And when you match that with his just unbelievable arm talent and his ability to make every throw, I think that's kind of what Andy Reid saw in Mahomes that maybe he didn't see in the other guys. And the other fact, the other guys made the decision for him kind of right when they picked Trubisky. And I don't think there's any way the Chiefs would have ever traded up or picked Trubisky. I'm not even a film expert, and I was kind of scratching my head thinking, what is this Trubisky? He doesn't play at a big-name school. He doesn't wow you when you watch the highlights. He's not been some – he didn't light the record books on fire in college football. So
where did Trubisky come from?
That was boneheaded.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Exactly. It's not even a football.
He threw 40-some touchdowns, I think, Scott. I mean, yeah, he was. Yeah. He was just. But I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry to intrude here, but I mean, Khalid brings up a point that I wanted to ask you guys when my chance comes around. So I'm going to save it. But when you, as a junior in the ACC, I mean, I think he only had a few starts as a sophomore. He didn't play much, but his junior year, he had numbers like Jimmy. He threw a couple more touchdowns than Jimmy did in 2019, and he threw for almost the same amount of yards. Okay, but all those quarterbacks you're mentioning from that draft class in 2017, they all look good on film, just like these guys do now. They all looked good when you're coming out of college. So my point is, Khalid says Fields is a pocket passer who can run if necessary. He can make any throw. It's all on film. It's all on collegiate film. How does that film translate into the NFL? Those throws to a professional secondary are going to get contested a fuck ton more than a college secondary. Can we agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Can we agree? Can we agree when you take collegiate film and you put it up against above average NFL teams?
Right.
These catches are it's just so hard to take that kind of film and put it, but I mean, experts, coaches, that's all they got to look at, right? So, I mean, they're looking at it the same way he does, the same way I do. It's all on film. It's a great throw, this, that, and the third. But I just –
And Andy Reid went up and got Mahomes, and he saw something in him, obviously, to go up. But there's no way – I mean, and Andy Reid, I'm sure, honestly would tell you that he didn't see Mahomes being this good either. So it's not like he knew. It's not like he knew I'm going to have
the game just slows down for that dude.
Right. When you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's first in the number of games to start a career. He's first in touchdown passes. He's first in yards. He's first in quarterback rating. He's first. There's no way they saw that coming. So that's a little bit of an anomaly. That's yeah, you'll take the credit because you look like the genius to go up and get him, but that's worked out better than they thought it would. So somebody's gonna
wow somebody in the draft.
Too much credit, right? And the other thing too is like John's right, man. Like you don't know. Like you can look at all the film and you can look at all the metrics and you can look at all the mechanics, but you don't know until they get on that in your system and they get out on that field against NFL talent. There was a video I saw someone. It was Zach Wilson. He rolls out to his right. He throws the ball all the way back over to the left side of the field into the end zone for a touchdown pass. And someone goes, "What do you call that throw?" And some NFL analyst or whatever replied back, "Was like, I call that an interception against an NFL secondary." Like so,
and it could be an average team.
Right.
Eric Davis, Super Bowl champion Eric Davis, he's got a show, and. You know what the one thing he says about college sports? He doesn't watch it. He says the talent doesn't do anything for him.
Yeah, the worst
basketball and college football. He says you just don't know what you're doing yet.
The worst cornerback on an NFL roster was one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks on his college team.
Right. So I'm saying when professionals look at the film that Khalid is referring to, which is what we see, they're looking at things that we don't see.
But at the end of the day, it's still what it is. What it is. It's still college film.
It's an educated guess.
It's an educated guess, and it's a gamble.
Right.
And those guys have to be. The pressure is on them to make the right decision in the war room when they're drafting, because they're just saying, "Look, guys. I mean, we've collected all this data. We've compiled it into one decision." And they did that with Trubisky. They did that with Sam Bradford. I mean, I'm telling you guys, they make decisions based on all those metrics like you're mentioning, Scott, and it either works or it doesn't. You either see, and that's the thing. Good talent often lands with shitty ass teams, like Burrow to the Bengals, right? So that talent with a good team or a good coach, a good offensive coordinator, a good quarterback coach, a good staff, period, matters. It matters. It could be the difference saying that this guy was a bust because his whole career he was with a butt-cheek team. It's so much that goes to it.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes isn't setting the records he's setting if he gets picked by the Browns or some other team. He'd still be good. There's no denying the dude's a freak and a generational talent and a badass player. So he would be good. But yeah, you're right there. I mean, some of it is landing situation. A lot of times you see these top prospects land with shitty teams.
Fuck it, raffle. Like the NBA, do a raffle. Fuck you ruin a guy's career before it even fucking starts.
What, draft
You
lottery, you mean?
destroy him.
Yeah, I mean, and MLB does that shit too, and I've never understand why you incentivize teams with better picks by being shitty. I mean,
it's fucking weird.
Right. I think the draft should be more. I think better teams should pick higher, and worse teams shouldn't necessarily always get the top picks. I understand the thought process, but I don't think it obviously does. It's not that I don't think it obviously doesn't work out that way, because you see a lot of the same teams picking at the top every time. So
yeah, Khalil, I hear you, brother. I'm trying to. I'm open to everything, man. I can never put all my eggs in one basket. I can't. And sometimes, I want to be. I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that Fields isn't going to be successful. I'm just saying you just don't know for sure. You just don't know for sure. He has everything that it takes to succeed. And if he comes to us at number 3, he's not Joe Burrow going to a butt crack team. So the opportunity for success is much, much fucking higher. So, I mean, I'm good with that. I'm just trying to give both sides 2 perspectives. The optimistic side and the other side. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us don't want to go to the other side. A lot of people don't want to look at if they pick McCorkle at number 3. We are all going to break fucking shit. We're going to be pissed. There's going to be a lot of shitty people. We're going to be fighting and yelling at each other and cussing and fucking up things, and that's a fact. But what the fuck does it change? If that's the choice that they make, if they see something in that guy and he works out, what are we going to say? What are we going to say?
When the Chiefs picked Patrick Mahomes, I was excited because our team hadn't picked a first-round quarterback in my lifetime, I don't think. But I sat there and I was an Alex Smith defender, and I thought, they should start Alex another year, and the defense is the problem, not the quarterback. And I wasn't as sold on Patrick Mahomes because of a lot of the same reasons I mentioned that experts weren't sold on him. So whoever you guys pick, man, get behind them and fucking be excited and be happy for it.
I'm nervous.
Be ready to roll, man.
I'm nervous because I don't like the way the media is fucking putting this kid up on a fucking pedestal. They're not acknowledging any of his fuck ups. They're not acknowledging any of that bullshit. That's what pisses me the fuck off about Mac Jones. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the You talking about the 2 DUIs that never seem to get fucking mentioned?
Listen,
2 DUIs, but nobody talks about that bullshit. But you can say negative things about Justin Fields.
You can point out his faults and his. If you think he's great, good, but don't leave out the fact that he fucked up, because everybody fucks up. Okay.
Hey man, at the end of the day, when you're the quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, baby, all that gets swept under the rug.
Yeah, well,
That's
now,
how that works,
now,
man.
now you're entering the NFL draft, and come draft day, they will smear your ass with every tweet you ever had from the day you posted your first rotten tweet, whether it was racist, whether it was political, whether it was.
No, let me tell you why. Let me stop you. Hold on. Let me stop you.
Dig it up.
Let me stop you right there, and I'll give you 2 prime examples. So we didn't know nothing about
Dion. Time out briefly. Nick needs to say something.
I've got to shoot. I've got to go. I've got things I've got to do. Sorry, I thought we were live when I was having internet problems. I'll let you guys carry on.
Brother.
Carl's going to take the ship over. I won't end the broadcast, Carl. Hopefully you'll be able to. If not, it's going to be running with no fucker in here once I've gone. Who knows? Dion, great to speak to you again.
I know where to end the broadcast. Okay.
Love it.
John,
man.
good to speak
Have
to
a
you
good day,
again.
brother.
Mr. Rogers, as I said, and that little thing that's going across the bottom, the little ticker, Shank Club NFL, bit later on, doing some live DJing. Unfortunately, there's no fucking banjos, Mr. Rogers. I'm sorry about that. It's been good to talk.
Nick, can I also have a quick shout out as well to you, Nick? It's only a small milestone, but congratulations to the Shank Club NFL. We have reached 100 subscribers on this channel.
Good. Congrats. Yes, sir.
Get some shit kicker music.
Trouble is, unfortunately, I had to create 99 other fucking accounts to get us to 100, but I got us there, and that's the main thing. Guys,
Russian bot.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back on the Shank Club NFL YouTube channel. Hopefully, if I can get it all fucking working again, if the internet works. I'll let you carry on, Carl. Guys, thank you very much for joining. I will catch you again very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Bye, Nick.
Later,
Be
brother.
well, bro.
In a minute, Nick. Okay, Dion, floor's yours.
So what I was gonna say is, you look at Mac Jones and his situation, 2 DUIs. We didn't know about that till somebody told us about that. None of these draft experts, nobody on TV was saying anything about what happened with Nick Bosa.
They took him to the woodshed, man.
Look at what happened with Nick Bosa and the bullshit that he was going through. You know what I'm saying? And all the stuff that he did. Nobody talked about that. People ripped me to shreds because I said don't draft him. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the negative things that he was doing. But nobody talked about that. You know what they chalked it up to? Oh, he's a kid. He just made a mistake. Well, let a black athlete pull some bullshit. It's out there. It's in the forefront. Everything is known. We see this. We see that. All this other shit. It's right there in your face. But when Mac Jones does it, we don't need to know about that. When Nick Bosa does it, it's all right, man. Just sweep it under the rug. He's a kid. You know, he didn't know what he was doing. Really? So to me, that is strictly by choice. The media will pick and choose who they want to put on a pedestal. It's the same thing that happened with fucking Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky just wound up getting hyped randomly out of nowhere because there wasn't a soul talking about his ass before the draft. Nobody was talking about Mitch Trubisky. You know why? Because don't nobody come out of UNC that play fucking football.
Right.
I think the last person to come out of USC, North Carolina, that was anywhere near prominent was Julius Peppers. You know how long ago that was?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They pick and choose what they want to do. They always put people on the pedestal that they want to.
So,
Why do you
Dion,
think Mac
let me
Jones is
ask you-
being ridiculously hyped the way that he is? There
Let me
is
ask you a
no
question.
difference. We wouldn't do that.
Do you
Like, come
feel
on, man. You know
that
what I'm saying? Mac Jones
Alabama?
looked like he's all right, but he didn't look great.
No, let me ask you this. Do you feel like Alabama has some kind of back channels with the NFL? Do you feel like the reason why they're not talking badly about this dude, exposing him for all of his mistakes and just putting him out there, do you feel like they're doing it to save face? Does Alabama have some kind of handshake behind closed doors with the NFL? Is it the farm team title narrative? What is it that is blanketing Mac Jones's mistakes to the media? Why aren't they addressing it? If he went to another school, if he was a Buckeye, if he was at Virginia, if he was at West Virginia, if he went to another school that wasn't notated as a farm team for the NFL, do you feel like they would have exposed him for all of his fuck-ups more? You didn't hear me?
Off, my apologies. Yeah, I think Dion's hit the nail on the head there regarding of when it doesn't, regardless whether you're black or white, if you've had a DUI in your past, it needs to be brought up so that they understand what their attitude is towards it going forward in the NFL. If you reach the collegiate level,
Carl, Alabama has something to do with the fact that this shit isn't being known.
Arrogance?
There's something that the NFL and that farm team narrative, they're blanketing that for a reason. Because if he went to any other school, this shit would have been put out there. Yeah. I feel like it's some bullshit. Alabama, they got something with the NFL. They're the hierarchy of colleges and the farm team narrative that they produce.
There's
I don't know.
I mean, there's been plenty of white players. Look at Johnny Manziel. I mean, they drugged that guy through the mud and brought up all of his MIPs and all that. Baker Mayfield was the same way when he was at Oklahoma. I think it's just the media. It's whether or not someone digs into it and whether it catches and goes viral or not. I don't know. I mean, some guys, they hide checkered past shit.
It's fucked up.
I don't know.
You just expose
the media, man. The media
you expose him the way you exposed everybody else for all their fuck ups. You expose him and you do it because you have to do that.
Right.
You look like such a pile of shit by hiding it. It's fucking garbage.
Right. So I don't know how much race or religion or any of it, but it has to do with how much they bring it to the forefront. I just think some guys it gets brought up, some guys it doesn't as much. Because, like I said, Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, I mean, they were in the fucking news all the time for all their when Johnny Manziel was at Texas A&M and he was entering the draft. I mean, that was like the number one thing was how can you draft this fucking guy with all these off the field issues and he's a partier and he's had this trouble and so it's I don't know media it's like I don't know like. It's like a dog with a bone. If someone throws them the bone, they're going to fucking chew on that bone until it's gone. So
yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
The Alabama thing, I don't know.
They choose not to speak on it. It's a choice. They don't want to make Alabama look like they. Right. They don't want them to look like they made a poor like it's got something to do with that university, man. Right. You can't be a shitbag coming out. You can be a shitbag going to Alabama. You are a fucking shitbag when you go to Alabama. There's lots of shitbags. Yeah. Reuben Foster was a shitbag.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no.
They cover it up.
They definitely do because Alabama, whether you like it or not, they're the royalty of college football. They got the history. They've got the most pedigree. They got the most championships. They're Alabama.
That's such
I'm with you.
Double standard bullshit.
I root against them every chance I get. I can't stand them.
That's garbage.
But
anyway,
I don't know. Mac Jones.
Carl, go ahead, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Say what you were going to say, brother.
I think anyone who has had a DUI in the past, it has to be brought up, regardless of racial, regardless of color. Okay. The best thing you could possibly do is if the media finds out about it, it makes you look bad on the player. But if you just say you just own up to, if you are going into the NFL draft, own up to what you did in the past. If you own up to what you did in the past, then it might actually ease off a little bit. But okay, well, he's admitted he's done wrong and he's ready to bounce back and actually prove himself right. So
yeah,
it's
I mean, own your mistake, dude. Let the media expose you, and let everyone know you for who you are. You were partying one night. You got drunk. You hit another car. Luckily, nobody was injured. And own your bullshit. I'll respect you more because of it.
Yeah.
But if the media doesn't give you that platform to own it, then who do you blame?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, you did something dumb, and you learned from it, and you're going to move forward. You're not going to do it again. That's
Let the people know that you're going to represent someday.
Nobody's perfect. Trust me. I know firsthand. I'm not perfect. There's plenty of stuff I've
No
done
one
in the
is.
past.
No one
Plenty
is.
of
We've
shit
all
I've
made
done that
mistakes.
people look at as
Mistakes.
dirtbag shit. But I learned from it. I moved on. What about the whole thing too? Is I didn't get a chance to bring this up earlier when we were talking about Mac Jones and Niners fans freaking out if they were to pick Mac Jones. Who was the receiver at Alabama that said that Mac Jones was better than Tua? Who was that?
I think it was Jalen Waddle.
Was that Waddle?
I could be wrong.
Waddle,
I mean,
or it could have been
everybody's fucking
Devontae
It's
Smith.
either it's Waddle or
That's the
Devontae
thing
Smith.
I don't get too about the Mac Jones. Everybody's talking like, oh, well, he's definitely not he's definitely not as good as Fields, or he's definitely not as good as Wilson. I mean, do you know that 100%? I mean, he looked pretty fucking good, man.
What
And
it was, he was the most
Tua
accurate.
You don't have 4.4 speed. You're not known to be mobile, but you can throw the football. When you look at the metrics on these Trey Lance, Fields, and Jones,
Peyton Manning couldn't run.
Yeah,
But he was accurate. When
But Mac Jones is accurate, isn't he?
when you lead the passing
I think he's
passing
accurate.
accuracy
I mean,
in
I think
college,
he's accurate.
he's got the same sort of accuracy stats as Drew Brees.
Yeah.
One thing we look at Drew Brees,
Exactly.
he weren't the
Tua,
best runner.
I mean-
He can't scramble, but he is, when he finds his man, he is bang on target pretty much 99% of the
Right.
time.
And
And that's who Mac Jones is. If Mac Jones comes into an offense where it suits that passer, we might see what he's capable of.
Right.
You take him to a wrong organization, and it may just be one of the biggest busts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for
people
a
talked about
quarterback.
Tua people talked about Tua before he had the hip injury, like he was the next Andrew Luck. He was the Trevor Lawrence. He was one of these guys everybody talked about. And Mac Jones he looks as good as Tua to me. And you got a teammate saying he was as good, if not better. I don't know, man. Like no one can say Mac Jones
Would you want him
isn't
honestly,
as good
Scott?
or isn't going to be as good as Fields or Wilson. No one can say that.
What if Patrick Mahomes was a past quarterback for your organization? Let's take him back. Let's date him like 6 years ago. Let's say 6, 7, 8 years ago, you had Patrick Mahomes. And now the draft is coming up. And would you want your quarterback to be mobile and fast and shifty and be able to do everything? Or would you settle for a Mac Jones because he's a pocket passer and he can just throw from the pocket. Not very mobile, but he's not very slow, but he's smart and he can throw the ball. It's like we haven't had that. We've had mobile, and we were successful with a mobile quarterback under a completely different regime of coaching. But we were also very successful with Steve Young in his mobility. So the Niners were known to have mobile quarterback that could do it all, make the throw, extend the play. So
mobile though.
No, but he did enough to.
Right.
He got out enough to do it, and Jimmy did the same thing.
Yeah,
then he blew out his knee, and
I was actually at that game that Jimmy blew his knee out. Coincidentally, that was here at Kansas City. And he was lunging for an extra couple yards he didn't need, and fucking blew his knee out. And
right there, in Arrowhead. Yeah. I was fucking miserable. I was sick to my stomach. I was so pissed.
Yeah, I was watching. That was a good game up until that point too. I was there.
It was a good game. It was a good game. It changed everything.
So no, I mean, it's definitely better to have somebody that can do both. But I just.
And that's
this idea that we know for sure that Mac Jones isn't going to be as good as Justin Fields or Zach Wilson in the NFL. That's not a given. No one knows that 100% right now. Nobody knows that. And anybody that says they know for sure is just guessing too, as an educated guess.
I mean, you can't blame anybody for. Listen, Khalil's right. He did. He looked amazing because he was stacked with talent.
Right.
Mac Jones looked like a genius out there. However, that may not translate in the NFL. You
Right.
might just
Well,
look like
49ers got good players though. They got Brandon Ayuk, they got Debo, they got a running game. I mean, they're not
you got I mean,
they're not chopped liver.
That's what I'm saying. If the worst case scenario, I'll bite my tongue. If it's the worst case scenario and we get Mac Jones and he can read the defenses and he can deliver Ayuk and Kittle and Debo the ball and we just look great. It is what it is. I want Fields. I want that other dynamic. I want them to I want him to run. I want the ball in his hands flying down the field, man. I just want to see guys diving at his feet and missing. That's what I want to see.
Right. I mean, I would pick Fields and Wilson over Jones myself, but I wouldn't bet every penny I have in my savings account that those guys are going to be better than Mac Jones. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that certain that they're going to be better.
Yeah. I mean, as a Pats fan, Carl, you guys never had mobility at the quarterback position. Drew Bledsoe was a pocket passer.
Yep.
You know, and I don't remember anybody beyond him. I just never paid attention to the Pats enough. But I mean,
well, John, when you deflate the balls and record the other team's fucking
recording the bungles. I don't really get that, but no, you are right. We haven't had a mobile quarterback excluding Cam Newton, obviously. So would I be disappointed if we got Mac Jones? No, I wouldn't, because I think because if we go back to the original offense that Brady was under, we'd suit him down to a T. We've got one of the top 5 offensive lines in the game. And as long as you give him time to throw the ball, he can be accurate.
You guys coach to your quarterback's weaknesses. And there was more to it than just the gameplay. They drafted according to their quarterback's weaknesses. They had a solid O-line. Those guys were protecting Brady better than any line I've seen.
Yep.
Though for years, you guys invested in an offensive line. So when I say coach to your quarterback's weaknesses, it goes beyond just calling the plays that best suit him. It's over the course of time. You draft according to your team's weaknesses as a whole, including the quarterback. So
yeah, maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. That's what you do. That's what you do.
It's a smart way to build a successful franchise. That's what.
And if there's any NFL teams watching, I'm available. So,
Khalil, you're right, dude. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if the play breaks down? I mean, he's right. McGlinchey's not sustainable. I mean, he's sustainable for he's proven to be able to stay in the game and be available. But when he gets beat on pass pro, he's right. This is why we as fans need a mobile quarterback. We need that dynamic because we have not drafted to the strengths or weaknesses of a quarterback because we gave up on Jimmy before we were smart enough to do it. We gave up on Jimmy before we thought, let's build a solid offensive line around Jimmy Garoppolo. You invested over $100 million into him, and you didn't draft because it wasn't the sexy pick. I know it's not sexy to draft offensive linemen, but fuck, it worked for you.
Yeah. We're all scratching our heads every year. Well, we take an offensive tackle, we take a linebacker, we take a defensive tackle. None of these flashy moves, and people lose their shit over it. And I think to myself, well, in all due honesty, Belichick knows what he desperately needs. It's what Belichick is going to do. It's not what we think he's going to do. Name one person that's predicted Belichick has done exactly what he said he would do in round 1 of the draft. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, he holds the playbook of he's a poker man. He's a poker player, bro. Just doesn't show. And look, I mean, what team doesn't want to provide their rookie with a solid offensive line? They deserve it. You know, if you move all the way up to pick your quarterback at number 3, you are confident in your offensive line. We couldn't say that last year, but you're confident in your offensive line this year, okay, that a rookie can start under center and produce. And that is what we're waiting to see. That's what we want to see. We want a mobile quarterback doing that.
Hmm.
You know, it's crazy to me because I what did he say? That's not right, John V. Right after Jimmy was signed, we went McGlinchey and they started busted but started. I mean, is he saying that like McGlinchey gave Jimmy a hard time, but eventually got it sorted out? I mean, is that
I don't know if McGlinchey had struggled during the time when Jimmy was under center. I don't know if that's what Lizzie said.
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, probably, sure, because he hasn't been that great at pass protection to begin with, so he's probably right. But if McGlinchey was a different right tackle, if he was solid, you know, I just really wonder what it would have been like having a very good offensive line from top right guard to right tackle all the way across the board, just like you guys built a solid offensive line behind a guy that wasn't mobile to save his fucking family. He was not mobile, you know? So I don't know. You know, it's crazy to me because Kyle is scary, you know? He moved all the way up to 3 to get somebody. And I just God, I hope it's I don't know, you know.
You're hoping it's any quarterback but Mac Jones.
I hope it's a quarterback that takes me to a decade of competition. That's what I hope at the end of the day, because that's all I want. I want him to be mobile, and I want him to be my franchise quarterback, undoubtedly, contending for NFC championships and Super Bowl appearances. That's what I want, because we are a prime organization, and we deserve that shit.
I think everyone
that's a good point. Yeah, that's what we just talked about. Yeah, he took off running and tried to lunge forward for a couple extra yards on the sideline, and
just such a dumb play, dude. You know where he blew his knee out was right on the fucking sideline.
Right.
He blew it out on the fucking sideline, like outside of it. Just go out.
If he just ran out of bounds, he would have been okay.
Holy shit.
He lunged forward. He leaped forward to try to get those extra, which I don't know. I have a hard time faulting someone for trying to make the extra effort.
I know. I mean, that was never, obviously,
it's fucking one of those things where
it was just it was an unfortunate thing. I mean, but at the end of the day, if that injury has prevented him from being successful and mobile, then I'm sorry to say it. That was you just didn't. You're not rehabilitating like Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is explosive off his. I mean, he looks insane. I was so skeptical about how Nick was going to move coming back because of who he was. He was explosive off the edge, like crazy, low to the ground, made stupid, crazy moves. Just seeing him yesterday off of those explosive jumps, it was impressive. I have no fear that he's going to come back dominating. So, you know, it's Jimmy just should have. Jimmy didn't rehab as well. Jimmy didn't rehab as well. Should have, but he didn't.
Did they bring him back too soon?
I don't know. I mean, he had just as much time. I mean, he had a long time to rehabilitate. It's just a different mentality, different player. You know, Bosa's a dog, dude. I mean,
some people's bodies heal better. Sometimes damage.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Everybody's body's different. I mean, I remember when I was younger, I could pull a hamstring and I'd be good in a couple of days, and I'd have teammates pull a hamstring and they were fucking out weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. You know,
and some of it's willing to play through pain too. You come back a little bit sooner, but yeah, I don't know. Carl's got that dope green screen draft logo behind his head there.
We've
I
been
don't know
going
if
an
you
hour
saw
and
that yet or
14
not,
minutes,
John,
and
but
it's
he
took someone to
calls
recognize
all
it
fucking
already.
Hollywood on us over here now. So,
Man, the draft is just about a 50-minute drive from me, man.
you need.
And
Are you gonna go?
I've tossed it around, but I don't know what it will be like. I don't know if it'll be if we don't do what I want them to do at the third pick. It'll be such a, I don't know, man. I just don't want to set myself up to be disappointed. You know, I want to be able to break. I want to break shit in my home. I don't want to fucking get arrested. You know?
It'll still be fun out there. Yeah. I think the draft is here in 2 years or some shit. Year after.
I didn't
next,
check and see
3
what
years
it
from
is.
now. I can't
And
remember.
well, we know next year it's going to be in Vegas.
Vegas. So maybe it's a year after that. They're gonna have it here. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'll go. You know, I'll check it out. I mean, why the fuck not? It's here. Might as well go. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, how often does this come around? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth the, you know, because we're going to be in day one. It's a Thursday. Maybe I should go and just try to make the best of it. I mean, it's an experience above all. I mean, everything else is outside of my hands, right?
are you gonna be?
Regardless of what the hell I want?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna be getting a draft hat? I saw that. The
Man,
draft hat
it looks like butter.
raising a bunch of controversy online.
But then again, I saw that hat pretty much looks like everyone else's. Some teams' colors just look nicer in it.
It just looks like a trucker's hat, doesn't it? Trucker's cap, sorry.
It's really what it is. It's just a trucker's cap. I mean, I think last year's hat was ugly too.
Hey man, like Nick said, hick boys like me like truckers hats, man. I'm down with the trucker hat. So
I mean, when you're paying almost $40 for a hat, you expect it to be
dope.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
should
something
be something
unique.
other than some plastic mesh. You know what I mean? I just feel like you should have more. You should be getting more material for what you're paying for.
Right. Yeah, no, it's like a cooling thing, right? Like they want it to be cool. It's like a summertime hat.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would feel. I would regret it. I would definitely regret it. I would. If they take Fields at 3,
Well, there you
I
go.
will
Melissa
regret
got it. She's got it spot on.
It's fugly.
It's fugly.
Me and Scott were talking about this earlier on. The only one we could find that was actually quite hilarious was the New York Giants one, which actually still looked quite smart. But unfortunately, name me what it resembled again, Scott.
It looks like the Kingsford charcoal logo. The Bills one looks the same. The red and the blue, it fucking does, dude. It's fucking
That's
hilarious.
so funny.
I love it. I don't know. I was gonna get one until Melissa just told me it was fugly, and so maybe I won't get it now. But
Too late. I pre-ordered
I
mine.
guess it just depends on if it's something that you want. You know, if it's a big draft, like for us, this is a big draft. So for me, the hat's ugly, but what we would get if we got who we wanted for it,
right?
That
It'd be
hat would be
memorable.
like more of like
memorable.
a nice memory, a nice memorable. It'd be something nicer than what it really is.
And then after Mac Jones wins you 2 Super Bowls, you could have him sign the hat.
It better be worth a lot of money. It better be worth a lot of money.
Could you imagine, man? I always try to look at it from the other perspective. Like if you get this guy that nobody wants, but he brings you everything you want.
Nobody knows for sure, man. No one knows who's going to be
No.
the best out of the 3 or 4 guys that get picked. No one knows.
Yeah, definitely, Izzy. I would for sure.
No. Okay, gents. Right, we're going to leave it there for everyone. Much appreciated for you two to hang on with me for like the last hour since Nick has now disappeared. His hour and 15 minutes of trying to sort out his internet connection with a rubber hammer has not worked.
The fucking Batcave should have some better technology than that, man. I mean,
you think so? Poor guy's got to figure it out.
We got it figured out. We're all going to get out of it. Make sure you subscribe to the Shark Club NFL and follow us on Twitter at Shark Club NFL. John and Scott, as well as Dion, will be back again next week for another show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Go on, Scott.
I'm gonna try and get on. I'm traveling the next 3 weeks. So the next 2 weekends I'm gonna be traveling for work, and then I'm going to be in Vegas the third weekend. So I'll try to log in or tune in, but I'll try to watch at least if I can't jump on with you guys. And
That's no problem.
know,
That's no problem at all.
take it easy. Be well.
You got it, brother. Be safe,
Yep.
Scott. Travel safely. Carl, be safe, brother. Take care. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody. See you later.